Good evening. How you doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Very well. Very good.
Sorry, I'm just turning something up, but yeah, here we go. It's better.
Good
Good.
stuff.
How's it going? Right, this is going to be a bit of excitement tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. Been getting lots of texts through the days.
Yeah, we've opened it
I'm
up.
actually quite nervous.
Question and answers with Ross and Peter.
Are you nervous? I'm actually a little. I was all right up until about an hour ago. There's Ali Meek.
Oh for a win for eat your heart out.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
That's good. Folk are watching midweek. That's great.
Brilliant, folks. Yeah, if you could share a book, folks, as much as you can, that would be great if you're on. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a giggle here. We usually just do 20 minutes. This could go on a wee bit longer tonight. We'll just wait and see. We made it a question and answer game that you can ask us questions. And I've got quite a few emails lying here, Ross, as well. So
you're prepped? I think your microphone's gone off, Peter. There we go.
Am I back on now?
You're back on now. Is that in case you get a tough question? You just,
yeah. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm just going to go. I'm off. I'll leave this to Ross. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So, there's Dick Hamilton there. Listen, we're going to do a wee thing tonight as well. We're going to bring some of the guests are folk that's sometimes in the audience tonight, which I'm really looking forward to. That's for you, Ross.
I can't even say that. I can't even read that, let alone say it or answer it. Take a note of these. Well, we'll get some tunes on the go first, but we'll play a couple of tunes.
Yeah, we'll play a couple of tunes and then we'll get the thing. So I see Adam there asking, where's the strangest place you ever woke up? I think it was the boot of the bus for me.
Good stuff. Right, will I go first tonight?
Go on then.
The Andy Chung, former guest in the show, very kindly sent in two of the CDs that are absolutely fantastic. McChung, the old acquaintance, and the one that was the Macallan one. But on them, there's a lot of, looking at them, there's a lot of nice 4/4, like pipe 4/4s in there, Kelly Cranky and Galloway Hills and all these sort of tunes. So I'm just going to play a couple of 4/4s.
Brilliant.
And that'll do me.
Fantastic. What are
they? I'll play Wings, Flet from Flotta, and probably Kelly Cranky, saying it's on the doorstep.
Sounds good. Go for it. Brilliant. Good. Great tunes.
Aye, classics, good.
I want to do a show some night, or part of a show, where we speak about some 4-4 matches, because they're not getting played just so much anymore because they don't use them in competitions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some great 4-4s as well.
Yeah.
But when they went to the map tunes, that kind of changed it to the 2-4s for all the wee bands.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But it's about, there's Isabel Gardner. Isabel wrote another nice email the other night saying about how much she enjoyed it, that she actually feels like we're having a good fun sitting in the house with her, which is
good.
ideal. That's what we want it to be like. So it's good. So.
There's Claire again. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Claire, and thank you, Claire. Claire put a video up today playing one of my tunes. Thanks very much, Claire.
Very good.
Brilliant.
There's Mitch again.
Getting the Cowell Fiddle Society lot to learn it, so that's great. That's good. Right, I'm going to play a couple of 6-8 matches here, which is going to lead us into hopefully our first guest coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, after we've done this, you can start firing in questions if you want, and Karen can put some up on screen if they come in. Please don't be offended if we don't get them all answered or something. If there's just too many, we win can do everything. But if we can answer them, we will as honestly and as truthfully as we possibly can. Aye, yeah, just make that one up.
Is that a rubbish idea, Peter?
Listen, I'm going to play a couple of 6-8 matches. The first one is one that Dick Hamilton sent me. You know, Dick's on quite often watching the show.
Yep.
And his family got Graham Mackay. Remember the box player we had on as well for Inverness, Graham, with the Gaelic cabin? They commissioned Graham to write a tune for him, and it's a 6-8 match, and it's called Drum Major Dick Hamilton of Wormit.
Very, very good.
So I'm going to play that one tonight, and then I'm going to play the one I wrote for your nephew, Hamish Will of Ballinlouis.
Very good.
And then we'll talk after that.
Yeah.
How's that sound? So,
sounds great to me. Take it away.
Here we go. Cool.
Hey, you. Very good.
Sorry.
That-
A bit exciting with that first one there. that's Dick Hamilton, student at Graham Mackay wrote, and the second one was Hamish Willie Ballinley. And just quickly before we bring a guest on, Dick Hamilton actually sent me a question in by text for you, and he was wondering if when you were a Pirrie boy, oh, see, I said it, Shetland Pirrie is small. When you were a wee boy, did you ever play at Braemar? Gather.
No.
No.
No, I didn't. I didn't play at Braemar. I didn't really compete. I didn't compete solo, except for the little local competitions that were here. Like there was wee local competitions, Aberfeldy Mod. There was ones in Pitlochry.
Right.
But I was never a solo competing piper, and I didn't join a pipe band until I joined the army. So I didn't go round any of the games in a competing capacity.
Well, there you go then, Dick.
Mm-hmm. But I love that tune that Graham Mackay wrote.
Lovely, beautiful tune.
Very good.
Tune. I think, Dick, that must be somebody else you're thinking of that ran across the park doing that thing
then. Maybe not.
Right then, right, tonight, this is going to be fun. We're bringing on some guests. Shall we bring on our first guests?
We better had.
That'd be good.
Is there going to be 2 or 3? There they are.
Well, hello.
There's Hamish Willie Ballinley.
There he is.
The man himself.
That's fantastic to play it to him.
Oh,
thank you very much. That's a kind gesture to do that for us. You've been very kind all the way through, actually, you and your good lady, Karen. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's been strange times for you guys having a baby and lockdowns and things. It's not just the easiest.
No,
very strange.
Being kind of cut off for a while. It's difficult for Heidi, especially, really having to be indoors and very little people able to help and sort of give her a bit of space ourselves. So we're doing what we can and generally enjoying it. So
I had my 12-week scan the 2 days before lockdown happened. So that was the point where I could tell everyone, and then I was just hidden from everyone. So really now I'm only just getting to be out and about a bit, and I've all of a sudden got a baby. No one's seen me pregnant. It's been strange.
So quarantine has become a big thing for us. Sunday night, every Sunday night, it's been a great thing for us.
We'll be able to look back at it all. It'll be good.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That's it.
No, you guys have been on the show every week, so it's been great.
Yeah, we've not missed a single show.
No,
we've actually been on more than Ross because he missed that one.
Oh, that was right. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Very good. Right. That's good, actually. And Peter just mentioned about how nice it was to play for Will, even though he's sleeping through it. But I think that echoes over a lot of the musicians who haven't been able to play like wee things like this. Just even though it's on the internet, it's still a personal thing, which is great for musicians. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big thing I want to say is thank your mum for all the cake and all that she sent up to me.
Oh yeah.
I meant to mention that.
Ross sent them to the wrong island, but it's all right.
I heard. Yeah, I heard about that.
These nuts were amazing. What do you call these nuts?
Well, I think they were fusty. They've been away for that.
No, they weren't. They were all right. I ate them last night.
No, it's like a meringue thing that's on them. They're great though. They're addictive. Right? Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
They're good.
So is that both sets of arms folded in anticipation for dodgy question?
That's actually body language. That's defensive.
That is exactly that. I think we're actually going to keep it really, really clean. I'll start off by asking.
Well, it's before the watershed, so we have to.
That's it. If you could have your time again, we'll talk about instruments. If you could have your time again, what instrument would you pick up from the start if you could have the chance of playing it to the standard that you both play now?
Piano.
What instrument would you choose instead?
Piano. It'd be the piano. Piano every day for me. I love the piano, so it'd be the piano.
I love the piano as well, but I'd like to be able to play saxophone. I really love saxophone because it's a kind of cool dude instrument.
Yeah.
And Grace, my wee girl at 6, she reckons she wants to be the first girl or the first woman to ever go to Mars. But she also wants to be the first woman to play the saxophone on Mars. And I I haven't got a hard to tell her yet that saxophones don't work in space.
Very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met a jazz player up in Iceland once, a very famous guy called Erti Shep, and I jammed, and I played the pipes and he played the sax and things. It was the Reykjavik Jazz Festival, and I was tuning my pipes up, and he knocked on the door of and I thought, oh, I'm going to get a complaint in the hotel here, and there was this big guy standing, old guy with the big black hat on and a trench coat, and turned out this guy was Erti Shep, and he says, oh, I love this, what scale are they on? And I was like, let's go and jam. So we went down and we jammed with his trio, and I can't remember what we played, and they just played all these jazz riffs over the top of Amazing Grace or something. And but he kept talking about things, and he kept talking about, like, say, Frank and people like this and all that, and it was actually Frank Sinatra he was talking about and people like that. These were all the people he played with over the years, so it was quite amazing.
We have the pleasure of listening to Ross, very, very often, all family occasions, and then just an occasional tune now and then. So we're used to Ross playing, to be fair. But watching you, Peter, being so dexterous with both hands and what you're able to do, it's just, for us, I play a little bit of guitar, but nothing major. Heidi sings in the car and in the shower.
Very well.
It's not great. But we just have such a huge appreciation for the skill that you have. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Good to watch. Really good.
Just good fun. Good fun. Yeah. I started pipes first. I started pipes when I was 7. And I didn't play accordion until I was about 11 or 12. I started learning accordion.
Would you ever play pipes in the show?
Did I play, sorry?
Would you ever play pipes in this show?
I said I would play them one night if he dances.
Oh, right, okay.
Or plays the banjo. He's pretty good on that.
Get the pipes out, Peter. Get the pipes out. Let's do it.
So, but yeah, no, I would do it some night for a laugh. Yeah.
I think Heidi's got a question as well.
Yeah, I could ask anything, but I already know the answer to
Ross. Ross is very nervous.
I already know the answer to a lot of them. I can make it really tough for Ross, but I'll leave that to Gareth probably later on at a later date in the show. But my question would be, so it's a hypothetical question. What does
that mean?
to both of you, if you were to go to the pub, so that's the hypothetical part, because obviously we can't do that at the moment, but if you go to the pub with 3 musicians, past or present, who would you choose and why?
What, to jam with them, to have a sesh?
No, yeah, to either have a sesh or just to find out about their history, their past, anything.
Okay.
Well, for me, I would like to. What am I allowed? 3.
3.
I'd say for me, I'd definitely take my all-time hero, and that's Woody Guthrie. And I'd definitely take Luke Kelly from the Dubliners. And I'd probably, for the third one, I'd need to think about the third one carefully. But those 2 stand out straight away.
Who was your first? Ross, who was your first one? We cut off there a wee bit briefly.
I know Woody Guthrie.
Oh,
Woody Guthrie and Luke Kelly would definitely be my 2 main ones. I'm trying to think. Can't think of a third one as a musician. I'd probably take Peter along.
Yeah.
Woody Guthrie is my hero. He's a huge influence. You should look him up. I'd be wasted trying to explain the influence that he's had in music, but a lot of his music comes through hardship and just the real hard times in America. And a lot of Bob Dylan was kind of idolized Woody Guthrie, and he had some cracking stories, and I think he was absolutely mental as well. Luke Kelly was a fantastic singer and probably completely mental as well, so I'd quite like to.
So a bit of a session then.
I know it would be. It'd be great, and it'd be great. That'd be certainly the 2, and Peter, so 3.
There you go.
Very good. Yeah, you don't have to say Ross, by the way.
No, I'm not going to. I wasn't going to. No. Oh, in the nicest possible way. Wolfgang Amadeus. He just had a little tantrum. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Right.
I would love Mozart to be there. Apparently, he was off the wall. I would have loved to have seen how off the wall he was.
Yeah.
I think he was autistic, all that kind of things to a high degree.
All right. Okay.
So, but just the genius of the man and the music and the way he could write it was quite incredible. Freddie Mercury, I've always thought Freddie Mercury as a Queen frontman was absolutely awesome. And when I saw all the shows he'd done and things that were just absolutely fantastic. And there's a third one, right? So that's my first two. I think I'd probably take. I would take Ross just so she didn't get lonely.
Well, we need to make this dinner date because we haven't even met each other yet. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ross,
true.
Ross, there's a fellow that I met many years ago called Eric Bogle. He's originally from Peebles but lives in Australia now. He's a folk singer. And he wrote the songs like The Green Fields of France and the band played Waltz and Matilda and all these kind of songs. And he was an amazing guy that could make you cry with what he was singing 1 minute in sadness, and the next minute he could make you cry laughing. He was so talented. So yeah, that would be some party though.
Heidi's fairly similar. You either cry or laugh when she's singing. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you should hear my wife Karen. Holy moly! Yeah, that's why she was born in Yale and stayed up there. Didn't have
Good stuff.
Peter keeps flashing on and off. We're going to probably go on to.
No, I think I was just cut off on purpose.
Right, okay.
So,
good stuff.
No,
that's two good questions from two loyal fans. So
thanks, guys, and brilliant to see you all together. You look like
thank you very much. Thank you again for the tune and actually the gifts from Karen as well. It's really, really nice. It's a slow start in terms of the questions. I'm sure things will heat up as the night goes on.
Yeah, we're looking forward to them.
I'm not.
Listen, you guys take care, and I can't wait to meet you.
Take care for now. Cheers.
Bye for now.
Have a good week. Have a good week. See you later, guys.
Sorry, Karen. Your singing's really not that bad.
Yeah. Can we just cut it at that? That was fine.
That was quite good, actually. Yeah, that was all right. Right, we'll do a question. I've got 2 or 3 here.
Go for it.
Right. Christine Donaldson. We've seen Christine watching the show quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She has, is Ross any relation to the McNaughtons outfitters in Pitlochry? Now, I think you and I spoke about that once before, and I don't think you are you? They're different Mick and Mac, isn't it?
Mick and Mac, aye, that's right. So I'm no relation. They're the rich ones.
All right.
They're the rich McNaughtons. But interestingly enough, I think it was my great-grandfather. He spelt the family name wrong when I should be a MacNaughton, or we should be MacNaughtons, but
right.
It was spelt wrong in the birth certificate.
Oh yeah, okay, that happens.
Aye,
well, there's somebody said about Eric Bogle still going. He's great. Really
yeah, he is fantastic, actually.
Yeah. This lady's got about 5 questions here, so I'm sitting through them. Is Ross married? Just curious, she says.
This isn't a dating site.
No, but listen, she says, just curious. She's curious. She says, I already have a husband, but she says he seems to have a lot of freedom.
But I don't think I've got a lot of freedom. I'm not married.
Okay.
I'm not married, but
right.
I wouldn't say I had a lot of freedom. Maybe she's a bit hard on her husband and she'd let him go out.
The next question came to me. What's the latest on your new CD? Yes, we have a new CD. It's mixed and it's going to get whatever the next bit is they do to it. I've forgotten what it is they do. We'll send it away to get it mastered. That's what I'm after. It's getting mastered and then it'll hopefully get printed after that. So that's that.
What's your new CD called?
I can't remember now. We did come up with something and I can't remember, but I will mention it at some point.
Right.
Another question for me: does your good lady Karen work or ever worked in IT? She does a brilliant job for you both.
She does that.
Well, there you go. See how good she is. Look, she's just put what the new CD is called. It's called Step It Up.
Stepping up.
So, yeah, she does an amazing job. And
she does do an amazing job, and you wouldn't believe how hard she works behind the scenes, not just making the show run smooth, but all the stuff through the week, putting stuff onto YouTube, like linking stuff together. It's fantastic.
when I met Karen, she was working as a secretary in the school at mid-year. So that's how we met. So that's kind of IT-ish, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the last question, Peter and Ross, any plans to actually meet up in person soon, COVID permitting?
Yeah, as soon as we can, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we did mean to try and do it in the October holidays, but unfortunately it's come back with a bit of vengeance again. So
yeah, I was going to come up in the October holidays, but we'll get there.
Yeah. We will. Yeah, so we will meet up sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Good stuff.
Karen is going to message through if any other questions come in. So if you've got any other questions, folk, keep them firing in. We're not in a hurry here. If this is entertaining you, that's yeah, that was my strangest place. I think was in the boot of the bus next to the drums. So, where was your strangest place?
Strangest place, I think. I'd probably say I woke up in a church in Oban once.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Oban, it was the Isle of Mull. It was Tobermory. And it was actually with Gareth. We were at the Mull Music Festival. Wonder what year that would have been. That would have been maybe 1998, probably. But we had nowhere to sleep. We had, and it was absolutely.
I think I was playing at the Mull Music Festival in 1998 in the Mishnish.
But aye, in the Mishnish, aye. Yeah. So, but there was a church up there that somebody said the doors was open, so we went in there. That was quite a good night. So probably a church in Tobermory.
A peaceful night.
Yeah. And what was yours, Peter?
Definitely. I remember waking up in the boot of the bus next to the drums once.
Yeah, pipe bands, eh?
Yeah, I remember one of these, these cases the drums used to be in rolling about on my head. But there you go, Ross.
Sandra, I went for my first lesson when I was 7, and my piping tutor at the time, Eddie Clark, he said I was too wee, so I had to come back when I was bigger. Come back when you're 8. And this was in Strathtay in Perthshire. And when I went to the primary school at Grantley, which is maybe a mile away from, maybe just slightly over a mile away from this guy Eddie's house. And we were in the classroom and the teacher came through, and I remember it, a wicker basket full of recorders. And she said, right, here's your first music lesson. And I straight away put my hand up and asked to go to the toilet, walked out the school, up the road and up to Eddie's house. And I knocked on the door and said, my mum sent me. So my mum got a phone call from the school. Mum got a phone call from the school to say, yeah, your son's gone missing. But they worked out where I was. And that was my first lesson. So I would have been 8 when I first started properly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we bring on our next guest?
Why not? Who have we got?
Mr. Jamie Starr.
Yeah, Jamie Starr, eh?
Hi, Jamie.
How are you doing, guys? Not bad yourself.
You're looking a bit serious there.
I'm tired, to be honest. I've been working.
Driving all day?
Yep. It's been a bit of a tough one today, to be fair, but never mind, we'll get there, eh?
Aye,
Yeah.
No worries.
So.
Right, Jamie, do your worst. Make sure it's Peter.
Right, but to be fair, both of you are. You're ex-military, Ross. Peter's played with the Scottish Gas Pipe Band. You both drunk in the Scotsman, I presume, eh? So
that's
this
right.
could go anywhere, eh? Really.
Correct.
To be serious. See, we're playing with military pipe bands and civilian pipe bands, Ross. Is there a big difference between the two?
It's hard to say because I've only played with one military pipe band, and that was the Black Watch. And I've played with lots of civilian pipe bands who have all been very different. They've all had their own type of fingerprint. And I remember probably noticing it the most round about 97, 98, when we were on the Edinburgh Tattoo for these years. The Black Watch they were quite a serious, like there was loads of good crack, but they were very kind of quite serious compared to some of the other bands that were maybe. So the reason for that was the Black Watch played at the handover of Hong Kong in 1997 to the Chinese. So they would have been drilled to death about perfection and everything. I wasn't there, but joined just after it. And then after Hong Kong, the Black Watch were based in the UK, and they got the permission to go around the competing circuit. And we did a state banquet in 98, I think it was, or 97, 98. So there was loads of high profile stuff. So it was quite serious. So there is a big difference. But was the question, what's the difference? Or
how much a difference did you find? Obviously, the military ones are obviously more.
Yeah. So
would be more sort of strict.
They were. I'd say that. I'd say they were very strict, but they were great. I mean, you've got to imagine what the military pipe bands do. Not many civilian bands will do either, because I think there was 3 American tours that we did, and that was 3 months on the road, different show, different city. So there was lots of good crack. There's loads of opportunities to see. I mean, through the army, the piping jobs that I've done through the army have been like incredible. But you do get that through civilian bands as well. Slight difference. I think the crack was a lot better in the civilian bands in some respects, because you weren't living with the people that you were with. So it was a bit more of a novelty when you did get together, I always thought.
So, see, 30 years ago, there used to be a lot of opportunities even for civilian bands to go abroad and things.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think that's as much the case now, because a lot of these places abroad have their own bands now. I mean, you see City Vienna pipes and drums, and I used to go to Vienna playing, and there was no such thing as pipers there, but now they've got their own pipe band. Yeah. So they don't need folk this out.
It's good. But then they bring different things to the table. If you look at the older footage of the Edinburgh Tattoos before the amalgamation of the regiments, you can see how different all the regiments were and how much of a presence they had compared to a civilian band, possibly. But you had a lot of the police bands. Like police bands have been on the go for just as long, and have been just as and even more successful in travelling. So there is a bit of a link between military and civilian. But I'd say the military ones are probably a bit stricter. It's more of a. But then I might be wrong in saying that as well when you look at the top end Grade 1 pipe bands. Yeah. Because that's a completely different level of professionalism that they put in and commitment. So yeah. Cool. That's as best as I can answer that, Jamie, I think.
Right. No, it's just obviously there's going to be a slight difference in there, but when the military are going to be more sort of regimented. For the word to be fair. Obviously, the civilian bands are a bit more relaxed, aren't they?
I'd say that. And the thing I've enjoyed most in any pipe band that I've been in is the like Grade 4, Grade 3, where you've got a much bigger mix of people. You know, you've maybe got kids, you're bringing them in and through, and then up to a next band, or you've got a bit more age. You've got older folk in the band, and you've got a bigger mix. So it's usually a lot more interesting. I'm always very interested in the people in a pipe band, you know.
I agree with that. I enjoyed Grade 3 and things better than Grade 1. It's just not quite so much pressure. Mm-hmm. That was a lot better. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, as well, for sort of both, obviously playing sort of Scottish instruments is like folk music and traditional music, the music you're interested in personally, or just because of playing the instruments, you've got the interest in that?
Yeah. On you go, Peter.
I'm just getting handed more questions here.
Well, growing up, I didn't really grow up with the folk scene as much, but I did grow up with like Wolfstone, Deacon Blue, the Corries, Dire Straits, and Fleetwood Mac and Runrig, Dubliners. So it wasn't like it wasn't all folk music, but I definitely had especially with the Dubliners, for some reason, I was always very, very tied to that band for some reason when I was younger. There's something about them that I couldn't stop listening to.
I suppose I was brought up, the one thing I can always remember all my life was my father whistling. My father was a very good whistler. My father was a gamekeeper, and he used to go about whistling all the time. But he could actually whistle tunes. He didn't just make sounds like a demented seagull kind of style thing. You know, he actually would pick out a tune and whistle it. And so I kind of heard that, and I always remember hearing all these tunes. And then my first kind of pipe band that came across, the bigger Royal British Legion pipe band, were playing in the local village, and that's where I learnt to begin with. And then went over to Colburn after that. But I was just always attracted to that kind of music, yeah. I don't think there was a particular lot of it at home. Mum and Dad used to listen to that kind of music, but I can remember things at home like Sidney Devine albums and all sorts of things going about, you know, so it was just Johnny Cash and stuff like that, you know. So, but no, I was always just kind of interested in it, and the piping was first, and then along with pals that played in the pipe band, they started accordions lying about, and I got hold of one of them and thought, oh, fancy having a shot at this too.
I'm more interested in folk music now than I've ever been in my life, and I don't really watch telly, but on the background, I've always got some form of catch up on the go. BBC's got 3 really good stations: Pipeline, Take the Floor, and Travelling Folk. They've actually got another one called Cranluath as well. And you can listen back. I listen back to these constantly. I'm always jotting down new tunes or new musicians or just interesting facts. A great story with the folk music and its people. But even the new bands that are coming up, they're really, really, really good. So constantly changing.
I've just had a great experience all my life playing music and been involved and been lucky to be in that scene and play right through it. But when I was a teenager, 15, 16, I was, you know, everybody else was going to discos and things, and I was going out to play with bands. And that's what was happening. So. But there we go. So,
have you come from a line of musicians then? Or
no.
Is there a line of musicians in any of your families?
No.
My granddad, my granddad, he played the mouth organ. And he played he was just a fantastic entertainer, actually. He was very, very funny, and I was glued to. He was a great influence, actually, and I think probably it was my granddad, Bob, that gave me the confidence that Scottish music was cool. You know, people did like it. It did. Yeah, there was a lot of glue to this music that folk that really liked. You know, so. Yeah,
Jamie, thanks very much for that, man. All we can say to you is all the best. Drive safely.
Cheers. Take care, guys.
Thanks,
cheers, Jamie. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us.
You're a gem. Cheers.
Thank you.
I got a couple of questions for Sebastian McIntyre. Do you know that young man?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He was wondering who taught you the pipes to begin with.
I was taught with a gentleman called Eddie Clark.
There we go. And he put to us, how does playing the bagpipes and accordion make you two feel? Well, it makes me feel very happy, and I'm quite relaxed because I go into a different world when I'm doing that. So it's fine. And
I'm the same. It's just the bagpipes can break your heart sometimes because it's quite a hard instrument and it throws spanners in the works. But when you're, especially now, just now, when we've not been able to play in front of people, the rare opportunities that you do, you don't take it for granted, you know.
I had another question here from Helen Gregg in Edinburgh, and Helen, I can pretty much answer this one for you, Helen. She was wondering what the difference between a Ceilidh band and a Scottish dance band was. Well, really, in a way, the Scottish dance band had a kind of stricter, nearly set up lineup, Helen, that was 2 accordions, a fiddle, piano, bass, and drums. That was the kind of Jimmy Shand lineup that Jimmy Shand started, and that became the kind of standard lineup. Ceilidh bands tended to introduce other instruments like pipes, guitars, mandolins, whistles, all that kind of stuff, bazookies, all sorts of things. And that tends to be the kind of general difference, even though some dance bands maybe have a guitar in the band, or back in the day, the Jim Cameron band had a trumpet, a cornet, I think they had, gave them a kind of distinctive sound. But that's basically that. So anyway, well, who's your favourite pupil? Be tactful, Ross.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
No, you can't. That's not.
Yeah.
Could we, Karen, I wonder, do we have anybody sitting backstage there that we could, hold on, to pick up a music on the screen? It would definitely be the piano. I agree with Ross. I agree with Ross earlier on. Learn the piano, and if you can learn the piano, you've got a grounding in everything musical, from technique to bass to treble to coordination, the whole lot.
Yeah. I'd say the piano. That's what I would choose. But guitar, I've always thought the acoustic guitar is very cool as well. And you get an enormous range of that as well.
Karen, surprise us. Who are we getting this time?
Oh, no.
Davey Hunter. And he looks.
Oh, his microphone's off. That's
How's,
fantastic.
yeah, it's fine. How's it going?
He looks in a pretty mischievous mood.
Yeah.
Ross is off. Look, he's gone.
Oh,
You can't hang it.
I'll be back.
No, you won't.
How's
How's
it
things,
going,
Peter?
David? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
How's the book coming along? Coming along fine?
Good. At the printers, should have it next week. So all the
Fantastic.
pre-orders will be done next week, and then get it for general sale. So it'll be good.
Brilliant. We'll get a wee chat about that next week as well. That'll be good.
Aye. Yeah. So
Go on then.
what's your
Give us
thoughts on
this
Russian? Right, your sister stole one of my questions, so I had to write another one down. So you've got a choice of 3. So give me number between 1 and 3.
I'll take 3.
3. Here we go. This is to both of you. If you were to have a signature cocktail, what would it have in it, and what would you call it?
Signature cocktail.
A signature cocktail.
I definitely have. I like, as far as cocktails go, my favourite's the Bloody Mary.
Ah.
That's my favourite. I'd probably have to put a twist in there somewhere. Like, I don't know what I'd call it. I need to think about that because I quite like a good cocktail. I've not had one for a while.
Right then, this is an interesting one for me. I haven't drunk alcohol now for about 7 years, so this is a real interesting one.
It can be a mocktail. It's fine.
It's a mocktail. It would have to be well. It'd have Bar's American cream soda in it, because I think that's wonderful. And it would have some sort of coconut in it. I don't know how you get coconut in there. I'm kind of going for the kind of what's it called, the pina colada kind of effect here.
I can see you. I can see you in the bikini and the pineapple.
Listen. My mankini.
Yeah, I'd probably have something like a variation of the Bloody Mary, but I'd maybe have 2 sticks because I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. I'd probably have 2 sticks of celery in it, and I'd call it after what John Robertson named his friend last week, Skinny McGilvery.
Skinny McGilvery for Lismore.
Yeah, that's what I'd call it. I think.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pina colada. Minus
The Peter Colada then. The Peter Colada.
The Peter Colada and the Skinny McGilvery.
Yeah, there we go. That'll do it.
And okay, Peter, pick number 1 or number 2.
I'll take number 2.
Number 2. Same again for the both of you. What tune do you wish that you'd written? Anything at all, trad, modern, what do you wish you'd written?
Happy birthday.
You just beat me to it.
I've got one. I tell you, every time I hear this tune, it's just an instant Cayley for me, and it's Father John McMillan Ibarra.
Classic.
All right.
Every time.
I would like to have written Auld Lang Syne. The original one. There's an original kind of tune.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit different, and I really like it. I think it's really powerful. So I'd quite like to that because it always reminds me as well of being able to pack up quickly, get the gear in the car, and get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some weddings I've played at over the years that I'd have liked to have done all alongside at the beginning.
And
What about you, Davey? Just out of interest, Davey, what about yourself?
I'm a big fan of Adam Sutherland. So kind of like Road to Erigi would be probably the one
Okay.
that it's in mind. It's a cracking tune, B major, and it's kind of a damn, I should have wrote it myself sort of thing. But I think he wrote that when he was like 16, 17. So it was a few years ago he wrote that now.
Yeah.
But that's probably one I'd like to. It's a cracking tune.
Caberfay is another one that I always listen to and think that's just doesn't get better. That's probably one of my favourite 4/4s. And I'm sure
if you ask Google, if you ask your Google to play bagpipes, it's Caberfay it plays.
really.
Yeah, found out the hard way. I'm going to ask you another question while I've got time. So,
Sure.
you're both kind of into music in general, and I'm assuming you're like watching films as well. So, what is your favourite film soundtrack and why?
Oh, favourite film soundtrack. Probably right on you go. I've got mine.
Well, I really like, and he just died recently, Enrico Morricone, that died recently. I really like his soundtracks, but there's quite a few that he wrote. I really like the one he done for the Untouchables, but there's lots. Yeah, he done lots of stuff. A lot of the spaghetti western stuff and that. Really good soundtracks. Really good soundtracks.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that movies like Apocalypse Now, where you have all that genre of music from the Vietnam era, lots of really, really good music. For a movie,
I thought you were going to say Pretty Woman or something.
yeah. I'm trying to think of the kind of.
I can see you sitting there with your cup of tea watching your chick flick.
Yeah. But I tell you what I do enjoy as well, and this is growing up in that era. The big like classic epic movies that came out, like Dances with Wolves and Last of the Mohicans. Like they were great. They were tapes then, I guess. That they were always in the car, so they were good. Really good stuff to listen to.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Davey.
Davey, that was very safe. Thank you very much.
That was quite painless. Painless. And listen, you'll keep in touch with us when the book comes out, and we'll be pushing it a bit for you. And I hope there's going to be a promo video coming. I hope right here.
Yeah, I've actually in touch with a few friends of mine who are playing stuff from the book, and I'm putting together a kind of launch video, kind of book launch thing that I'm planning on obviously putting on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll share the link, etc. And it'll be there for folk to kind of enjoy.
Did I ever mention I brought a book out recently, lads? Did I?
Don't know. No, I don't think so. No.
Davey was brilliant helping me out with that.
Lucky you said that to you. I wouldn't have been able to find it.
It's popping up my screen.
In fact, I'm probably lying.
Lion Dune.
It's in my pipe box. There you go.
Every good household has one. Right. Anyway, thanks very much, David.
Thanks, David.
Thanks
for joining us.
Cheers.
So far, so good, Peter.
Aye. Notice Carlton's kept Gareth to the end.
Aye. We're going to run out of time. Oh, no. Here he is.
No, here we are. Hi, Gareth.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I feel like I'm under pressure to ruin Ross's reputation here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be very kind.
No, I'm going to do that. So it's a couple of ties you've got on there.
Yeah, a wee homage to Ross and his.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a wee Black Watch number, an Athel Highlanders number, and a couple of other randoms.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see Ross's video he did the other day down in the Games Park at Pitlochry there?
I did. It was a good one.
amazing that how many people on a Tuesday go about wearing Glengarrys and shirts and ties and things.
And Ballochry, probably most of them actually.
I was actually piping. I was actually piping at a funeral. The lady that had the Killiecrankie Hotel's funeral. So
right.
That was the reason that I was dressed up like that.
And then that dog spied you. That dog looked like it was going to pee in the leg or something.
I know. Aye. There's a lot of foot flicking that you couldn't see in the camera. Yeah.
I like the wee story about Mull. That brought back some good memories.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought your favourite cocktail would be a whiskey mac. That's all we drank that weekend. It's not really a cocktail as such, but
that was right. That was the first that we'd ever tried it, really. Aye,
yeah.
But that's funny. The three of us that are on that screen were more than it's likely that we were in the Mishnish at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure I was down. I'm sure I was there in 1998 with the Fooster playing for Shetland. So there you go.
It's quite
I can tell you quite a lot of stories that I can't tell you tonight about Mull.
Aye. There's a good story about how we got to Mull as well, but that's probably for a different day. Or how we got back as well.
Yeah, as a journey, we were actually we'll just say because we've mentioned it, but we were at a wedding in Perth. A friend in the band, Paul Mather, we were at his wedding, and then when we woke up in the morning, did we go? Just woke up. We stayed in Perth, and we woke up and just decided to go.
It was one of the shepherdess, a friend of your mother's, that told us about the Mull Festival.
Jane McLaren, that's right.
That's one, yeah.
And then we ended up in the morning, and I left my pipes. at the hotel. It was the Lovett Hotel in Perth, and I had to phone. And by the time I got to, we just set off, and we got a train. We thought to get a bus to Glasgow, a train to Glasgow, and then a bus to Oban or something.
I think we got a bus straight. I had a bus to Glasgow, yeah. I mean, then bus to Oban, and then we.
But it was it was all like the last. We just woke up in time to get the last connecting, and then when we got to Mull, it was all last minute. We didn't think about staying until very last minute. But I had to phone my mum from Mull to say, "Can you drive to Perth? I've left my. I think my pipes are still in the hotel."
Oh, good.
Gareth, have you got some questions there?
Yeah, actually, much as I want to go completely nuts, I'm on my best behaviour, but I wanted to ask a wee question about weddings and funerals, which is quite appropriate because I've booked Ross for both of them recently. But how do you, when you're doing probably a funeral especially, and it's probably especially for a family occasion like that, how do you manage your emotions on a day like that? How do you how do you deal with the emotion of what's going on, the emotion of other people around you, and other family members that might be upset, and you're you've got all that on your shoulders?
Yeah, good question. But I think what I do is just try to really, really absorb myself in the music, and just play the tune that whatever it was that they were wanting at the time or something like that. Because it would be very, very easy sometimes to drift off. So that maybe sounds a bit kind of cold and heartless, but
no.
Certainly two different things completely playing at a funeral with somebody you know or somebody you don't know.
Aye.
Yeah, I was very, very close to both of my granddads, and I was quite young. I think I was 18 when my granddad died, and we were in America on tour, and I got told that he'd passed away, and they put me on a plane straight away. And I remember coming back, and the funeral was a couple of days later, and I was quite upset about it, but I kind of knew that there was no way in the world that I wasn't going to pipe, And I remember that moment. Actually, you speak to a lot of musicians. There's moments where they think, I can do this, And I think that happened when my granddad, when I piped him away from the house, because my cousins were quite upset. And I remember thinking to myself, I just have to go somewhere else in my head and not think about it. But then saying that, my other granddad, who passed away not that long ago, 3 years ago, I remember sitting in the service, and I was going to pipe him out in Aberfeldy, and I just took a turn, and I just couldn't. all the way through the service, I just wouldn't have been able to pipe. And then just at the last minute, I was able just to get into that mind frame again. But
yeah, that's a strange one.
And then
it's one of these things that's it's an honour to be asked to play at it, but it's something that you would rather not, if you know what I mean.
But then
I remember when I was
weddings, just to answer that, because you asked about funerals, about weddings are slightly different. It's easier just to get into a groove at a wedding, but there will be stuff that puts you off. If you're not concentrating on your music, something will put you off if you're not ready. And that happened at Heidi and Doug's wedding. And I thought I was playing a lovely tune called A Tune for the Small Pipes. And the venue was just big enough to have the first part of this. And it was going to be videoed and I was going to use this. So I thought, right, this has to be perfect. So, but as soon as we walked in, I didn't have space to walk up the aisle. So I'd let Heidi and Doug overtake me. And when Doug overtook me and Heidi, I was piping Heidi in. And then I was looking down the aisle. Doug was already down there. And instantly, the thing that caught my eye was Doug was wearing high heel ghillie brogues. Because we're laughing about his height a little bit. So, and then my eyes just, I don't know why, because I'd never look at brogues anyway. But I seen these high, and I lost it. I lost it completely. Yeah. So you've got to concentrate. Sorry, Doug.
I think the wedding thing, and my experience is playing with a dance band and with the accordion and all that is. The unfortunate thing about the audience is they forget you can see absolutely everything they're doing. So we have seen some pretty bizarre things going on over the years. When you're sitting 4 feet higher than everybody else looking across the dance floor, you see some kind of amazing instances.
Yeah.
Some of them, the folk would wish they had their wedding video, to put it that way.
There he is. Yeah.
I remember playing the bugle at a funeral once, and I was really terrible at the bugle when I was in the army, and I was the only person available to do this thing. It was just like the worst time of my life, just having to kind of blow and squeak my way through this really emotional event. Everyone's staring at you. But
it's so difficult, isn't it? Because you get one shot. You get one shot. Like you can't say, "Can we stop this? Take it back out, please. Can we do this again?"
I'd practiced so much. I've never practiced the bugle wave. I'd never practiced the drums either. But I'd never practiced so much in my life just to get ready for it. My lips were just gone by the time I came to the day. I was just like, oh, I know if this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah. And there's nothing funnier than a failing bugle.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Go on. What else have you got for us?
Oh no, that's I'm out of questions.
Oh, that's cool.
That's good. Listen, from me anyway, and well, from all of us, I know you've had a sad week, Gareth, and we're all sorry to hear that. But also, on a lighter note, you're only 2 weeks away from having a wee boy yourself. So we're all cheering for you and look forward to hearing
the racket that's going to make.
The racket that's going to be.
Is this the first? Is this the first one?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, brilliant. You'll enjoy.
Good stuff. Good luck. And
there's not a feeling like it. It's amazing.
No, grand.
Right, well done. Thanks for joining us on the show, Gareth. That's
great. Keep up the good work, guys.
Get your wife to help you on these ties.
Aye, yeah, I will do. She's in bed with the hot blanket on to get rid of her sciatica just now, which is magic.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Good dear.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Thanks, Gareth. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Cheers now.
Cheers, Tim. Well, listen, that's been a great fun.
Do you know what we've not done yet that we should have done at the start?
What?
Was reveal who the guests are this week.
Yeah, but before that, quickly, Mary Kemp for Orkney sent a message to you. Ask Ross if
what are you saying?
Mary says, ask Ross if he's been bitten by midges while playing the bagpipes and wearing his kilt.
The midges are a pest, I'll say it.
Yeah.
They are a hazard.
Yeah, it's terrible if you get bitten and it causes some swelling, eh?
Terrible stuff. Right. Terrible. We'll leave it there. But you're right, Mary. You're right.
I'm just quickly checking, Ross, before we go. Yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, guests. Sunday night guests. Going to be brilliant.
Yeah, dead excited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have Archie McAllister from Campbellton,
yeah,
fiddle player extraordinaire.
yeah.
Plays with Skippinish. And various other people over the years. We'll talk to Archie about that. He's a great guy, great player. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
And our other guest is absolutely out of this world, in my opinion, and many others actually. And it's a young guy from England called Will Pound.
Yeah.
And if you go on YouTube, you'll see all these posts that the guests and future guests have put on. So do yourself a favour and look at both these artists. It's going to be a great night.
They're on both of them's got a video on our YouTube channel, so have a look.
Yeah, definitely.
Go on and subscribe. So we're going to have a brilliant night on Sunday night as well. Thank you so much tonight for folks. I can't believe it. There's been lots of people watching this all night.
Yeah.
Thank you to you all. Hope you've learned a wee bit more about us.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't bore you to death.
No, it's been interesting. I've enjoyed it actually. It's quite
But
nice.
I think we'll have a wee tune each before we go as well. So I think I'll play a wee tune first.
Okay, no worries.
And I'll give you a chance to get a wee tune up, will it?
It will.
See, we're very considerate to each other, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play a couple of jigs. The first one's Cork Hill.
Oh, good.
And the second one's one of Davy Hunter's tunes that was on earlier on. Davy's tune that's Kieran and Holly's Bundle of Joy. A wee tune for you. So I'll play these and then we'll get a wee tune for yourself.
Right,
Cool.
Take it away, Peter.
Cool.
Yeah, very good.
Back in the last tune, that last one as well, wasn't it?
Aye, very good, very good. And then Andy mentioned there about Cork Hill being underrated, and I think he's right. That should be in every piper musicians.
Nobody plays a lot of these tunes because they think that they're old tunes.
They're great.
No, they're magic. There's not. Everybody's feeling for you with the midges.
Aye. Don't worry.
Great. What are you giving us?
I'm going to give you some reels. There's Ali Meek saying we got off lightly. You better believe it.
Yeah, that really was quite good actually. Thank you. Thanks to everybody, by the way, that came on tonight and done the questions. That was brilliant. Thanks, folks.
Great. I'm probably just going to play some reels. I'll play a hooligan, a dance, a reel, a set of reels that 4 dancers dance to. So
a hooligan.
A hooligan. From a hooligan. There's Chris Brown. How you doing, pal? Here we go.
Sounds good. Take it away. There.
You look very
good.
smart there, Peter. What happened there?
I meant to put it on earlier for you and I forgot.
Very good.
I turned around and looked at the piano there and I thought, oh, there's that tie.
Aye.
My old Colburn IOR pipe
Very
band,
good,
right?
aye. Good
I
stuff.
played with Colburn IOR for a number of years. The IOR, you know, I think it was the only IOR band in Scotland. The IOR stands for the Independent Order of Rackabouts.
Aye.
And the Rackabouts were kind of tended to turn up in mining communities and things, and it was kind of like looked after people if folk got ill and things.
All right.
Kind of like an insurance kind of group thing. Like that.
All right. Uh-huh.
But they were very against smoking and alcohol and things. And then they started a pipe band. So anyway, so that was Colburn Independent Order of Rackabouts pipe band.
Aye, that's interesting. That's something new. I've never heard of that before.
So that's brilliant. Listen, that was great, and I love Tail Toddle there. That's one of my favourite pipes.
Aye. Yeah, it's a great tune.
So, folks, there we go. A wee bit of entertainment, light entertainment for tonight. Thanks to everyone that's joined in. Karen, thank you so much backstage there.
Thank you, Karen.
She wanted to come on. I've said, come on and say hello to everybody. But you've done an amazing job tonight because there was a lot going on there. There was people going on all over the place. So thank you so much for that. And guests, Archie McAllister and Will Pound.
Yeah, tune in. Definitely tune in.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Both. I've never played Andy play a harmonica like that. He's amazing.
I'm absolutely blown away by it. Absolutely.
I'm really. And as if you watch the Tartan Tunes page, you'll see their kind of bios going up. And these two guys have played all over the place and done everything. You know, just amazing, just brilliant.
That's it.
So Archie McAllister and Will Pound. Thank you, Ross. That's been great fun again.
Yeah, great fun. Enjoy the rest of your week, Peter. Thank you.
I think we got off quite lightly there. Actually.
Okay. You get away with murder if you're wearing a tie, Peter. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'll have to try and do that from now on. Right. Okay. Thanks again, Karen. Thanks, Ross. We will get together somebody.
We'll meet again some.
For our Peter, what did he call it? A Peter Collada.
Peter Collada and the Skinny McGilvery.
And the Skinny McGilvery. Excellent. Well, folks, thank you very much for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it a wee bit. I suppose it's that time of night where I say it's good night from me.
And a good night from him. See you later, Peter.